friends, how are you doing today? I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm so excited to share another message, today's message with you, kind of like the ones that you probably had in your class every single day. Lately I've been reading a lot of nonfiction books, and so that's what I made my today's message about. Dear friends, this morning I read a nonfiction book. It was all about how different animals sleep. It made me think about how every night I close my eyes and listen to the cars driving by. What do you do when you go to sleep? From Mrs. Alfriend. I made that connection as I was reading that book about how all different types of animals sleep. I learned so many new things, some animals that sleep during the daytime, some that sleep standing up, and it made me think that I could write a little something about what I do when I sleep. Why don't you join me this time as I read this again? Dear friends, this morning I read a nonfiction book. It was all about how different animals sleep. It made me think about how every night I close my eyes and listen to the cars driving by. What do you do when you go to sleep? From Mrs. Alfriend. What do you do? Maybe that's something that you could write about in a journal or even make a book about. You know, as I was reading this, I noticed something. I noticed some words that have helpful parts in them. Helpful parts help us learn how to read a word. Can I show you what I mean? I was reading along and I got to this word, this. It starts like another word that I know. Let me show you the word that I know that starts like that with the same helpful part. This is a word I've learned in my class a lot. The. When I look at that word the, I always see that helpful part. And I see that same helpful part up here in the word this. So when I was reading, I saw that I could go like this and see that helpful part. Th. I saw it and I said it. And then I saw a little more. This. It was so helpful to think about that helpful part. Let me show you in the word that I just looked at. See how they have that same part. So this is a word where I can find a helpful part. There are a lot more other words in this message where you can look for those helpful parts. Do you see some? If you're all by yourself, then write them down or say them out loud or point to them. And if you're with someone, you can tell them the words that you see. I'll give you a minute. Are there any other words that you see that have helpful parts? Can I show you another one I found? When I was reading along this morning, I read a nonfiction book. I stopped at this word because I noticed a part that looks the same as another word I know. If I break the word book like that, book, I broke it into two helpful parts. And do you know what helped me do that? I know this word really well. And I bet a lot of you do too. That word says look. See the two helpful parts in look? There's the same part as this word. Book. I can find those parts when I'm reading. Do you see another one? Let me show you another one that I saw. It was all about how. If I got to this word and I stopped, I could look for these helpful parts. I could break it right here and say, huh, Ow. Let me show you those parts down here. Huh? Ow. So if I stopped there, I could look at it in that way and say those parts and then put it together. How? Let's reread and see if it fits there. It was all about how different animals sleep. Ooh, that helped me, and it made sense, and it sounded right, and that looks right. Do you think maybe we could find one more word that has a helpful part? There's so many, right? Let me show you one more that I saw that I thought was really cool. It's in that same sentence. It was all about how different animals, this word has a helpful part. I can look at that chunk right there, sl, and then say this next part, eep, sleep. Let me show you those parts down here. Sl, that's the helpful part I see first, and then I can say the next part. Eep. Sleep. Now let's read to see if that makes sense and fits there. It was all about how different animals sleep. That makes sense and fits there. Whenever you're reading, you can look for words with helpful parts just like I did. And if you stop at one of those words and you're not quite sure what it is, then that's when it's really helpful to say that first part and then look and say that next part. Let's read our message together one more time. Dear friends, this morning I read a nonfiction book. It was all about how different animals sleep. It made me think about how every night I close my eyes and listen to the cars driving by. What do you do when you go to sleep? From Mrs. Alfriend. I hope that you're thinking about this next time you read a story or a book. I hope you have a great day. Bye.